Hello, everyone. I can't see you, but nice to meet you all. And it's great to see so many attendees here on the bank holiday weekend. It's good you've got the enthusiasm. So a bit about myself. So I did my A levels back in 2017, and I got A in maths, economics, and further maths. And I decided to go to Exeter University because I really liked it. I went for a few open days there and it really appealed to me. So I did mathematics there as my BSc. And then after that, I've always wanted to go into banking, but it took me quite a while. I tried in second year to get an internship, third year, and I was very unsuccessful, unfortunately. So I decided to do a panic master's, classic, because COVID hit. So I was like, right, I'll just do a master's. So I did a master's in finance, and then again was not having the best of luck with the old job applications. So I decided to take the plunge and do some years training, which was I did this the August last year now, so that was the August to October course,
Correct.
and yeah, really enjoyed it. And then I managed to land this role at I'm currently at UBS, so I landed a 6 month off-cycle internship, and that was from January to July. So I'm currently just over halfway, and yeah, it's going really well. Plan is to start afterwards full time around September. And is investment banking the promised land? Yes and no. It's the hours are definitely what what they're famous for. It's
Tasking.
intense, but I would say you do have on and off periods. So even though there are very intense periods where you're doing 100 110 hours with like 4 hours sleep, there are also periods where it's a bit more relaxed. So currently right now I've just finished my first deal, and so last week has been very relaxing.
Congratulations, man.
I've
Big
only
time. It's a big
Thank you.
deal.
I've only done about 10 20 hours, I'd say, this week, so it's been quite relaxing, but then
Wow.
on to the next. So I'm sure it won't last very long. But quite a lot. I interviewed with quite a lot of banks, so HSBC, Evercore, quite a lot of boutiques, and some of the questions they ask are very, very, very technical. So, for example, I think it was at Evercore, they asked me how would capitalizing an expense flow through
Mm,
the three statements differently versus
mm.
expensing it. And it's a
Interesting
bit
question.
intense, but the course really does help because I have a master's in finance, but
Mm,
the stuff that I learned in my master's isn't really the stuff they expect you to know for the interviews. Because I didn't
mm,
really do any valuation, accounting in finance. It was more sort of like an abstract view on finance. So it really
mhm,
helps getting that first-hand experience because it's quite tough to learn. But because
mm,
the industry is so competitive these days, the bank will expect you to know that, even if it's just for some internship, because
mhm,
they want the best of the best. So they want the people who are going to go above and beyond, even though they have uni. They'll in their spare time they'll learn all the evaluation, all the accounting, and corporate finance skills that you would need in the role. So
sure.
obviously, yeah, it made a huge difference to do the course and really give you that groundwork of understanding that you would need to answer those type of questions. Because every interview I've had, they've all been every single one's technical. Like you're not going to get into investment banking unless you know your technicals. That's like the main thing, in my opinion. For me, it would be a mixture of two things. Firstly, the valuation thing that I was talking about. Like for example, I remember I had one of those pre-recorded video interviews, and when I was at uni, and it asked me to talk about the best financial statement for measuring a company's performance, and I had no idea what I was talking about. So I said, I don't even remember what I said, but I literally didn't know what I was talking about. But now,
Mm,
after doing the course and being in banking, I could answer that question very easily. But another obstacle would be definitely the fact that I didn't have any work experience. So these banks, you need to have more than just if you're applying for some internships at the big banks, they expect you to have spring weeks. If you're applying for off-cycle internships or full-time graduate roles, they expect you to have other internships or they expect you to have some exposure to the finance world. And I didn't really have any. I had a bit of work like shadowing, so that was something which really I think held me back. But when you do the course, you get experience with Samir's company, Alpha Stone, which is an equity research company. So that gives you good experience on the finance side that you can bring with you to the job applications.